beautiful, oh beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and drown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. She said, do you think you could? I said, yeah, in a second, sitting by a waterfall. And when the people jump in, they hold their nose and kiss these wolves. Granite wolves, water-polished wolves. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-hmm. 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 Just don't ever want to move from this spot. You can sit here for so long. There's a slide, suicide. You can live or die. Going down, going down. Welcome to another episode of the apocalypse. I am your humble guide, Nicholas, also known as Death, and the Links of Nine amongst my peers, Death One, Carnage. Anyway, how about we just get right to it? Because I'm tired as hell, and I should really be sleeping right now. And if you can sing that good when you're dead fucking tired after a pack and a half of cigarettes per day, you're doing something right, trust me. Anyway, General Kellogg said U.S. would respond to Russian ceasefire violations with immediate and overwhelming violence, citing Tomahawk strikes on Assad when he used chemical weapons. But Defense Secretary Hegseth, or Rapey McHegseth as I call him, said the U.S. will play no role in a ceasefire enforcement at this same conference. So what did we have? We had a general tell one story. We had Rapey McHegseth tell another story in between sips of scotch. And they utterly contradicted each other. So how can anyone in the world take us remotely fucking seriously? Well, they can't, can they, watching this fucking clown show? Let alone punk-ass Hegseth out there talking shit about our Navy that it can't take Russia. I mean, honestly, why don't they just get Putin's you-know-what out their mouth? Because that's what they do, and everyone sees right the fuck through it. You know, they ain't fooling nobody. And I don't, even the stupidest rube should have been offended when punk-ass Hegseth is up there saying our Navy ain't shit and we need 7 more years to compete with Russia. Really, son? Nah, I don't think so. You know why? Because Vlad and his buddies stole the fucking money and didn't invest jack shit in the military. That's how I know. Just that alone. Plus, again, we outspend every country combined. We train hard as fuck. That is no joke going in the U.S. military, man. That's why I never did it. And they tried to recruit my ass. In high school, they tried real hard. They even showed up at my house with this beautiful little blonde girl. Looked just like it was Satan, I'm telling you. Looked exactly like a girl I was with that summer. Exactly. And she's one of the most beautiful women I was ever with. Satan. Trying to get Nikki in the fucking Marines. I was a long-haired hippie trying to get me in the fucking Marines. Think I wanted to be in the Marines doing push-ups at 5:30 getting yelled at? Oh, no, son. That wasn't the life for me. Not that I'm not knocking it. If that's you, great. If you can handle that, that's what you want to do, great. That wasn't for Nikki. I'm sorry. I don't like being yelled at by drill sergeants at 5:30 in the morning. And I don't like the U.S. government owning me either, because that's what you're doing when you join the military. You're signing your name on a dotted line. Uncle Sam owns you for a certain amount of time, and you best not go AWOL, or you're going to have a problem. But anyway, back to this. We have, again, Hegseth and Kellogg utterly contradicting themselves at, the clown show and the threats to all our allies and the obvious alliance between Russia, China, and Trump and Leon. That already looks bad enough. Then you throw Hegseth in there talking shit on our Navy, contradicting Kellogg, and we just look like absolute jokes. But that's the point. The dismantling and looting of our nation in service of people like Putin, Musk, etc. for their whatever Nazi oligarchy based on a science fiction novel, because that's how pathetic these individuals are. That's what they've built their whole life on. Nazi ideology and a science fiction novel. And Satan. That's why they'll be seeing me at the lake. Guaranteed. Big Dan Goldman, who I'd love to see be president someday. Too bad America's over and he won't have a chance. The AfD is the neo-Nazi party. Yes, it is, in Germany. They are the Nazis, the modern Nazis in Germany, funded by people like Putin. They are spouting the Putin talking points, the Nazi talking points. And Putin is a white supremacist as well. He always has been. Why do you think he calls Zelensky and the Ukrainians a Nazi every 3 seconds? Because that's what Vlad is to his fucking core. Elon Musk and now J.D. Vance have shown strong support for the AfD in the run-up to German elections. Musk and Vance, you say? Aside from the serious questions about meddling in another democracy, why is the GOP so quiet about this signal of anti-Semitism? Signal of anti-Semitism. Leon throwing up Nazi salutes. They meeting with the Nazis in Germany. They trying to extort Ukraine. These names here. Yeah, we got a Hitler Youth full of racists and weird, people that protect pedophiles online. People leaking information they shouldn't be leaking. We got a fucking concentration camp. Dan, I mean, I know Dan's in Congress and he wants to be careful how he words things, but signal of anti-Semitism? And Bibi really looking out for the Israelis, isn't he? Working with literal Nazis? Can you believe it? Jews working with Nazis. Can you fucking believe it? It's incredible. But Bibi doesn't represent all Jews. But unfortunately, he's the leader of Israel right now. And he's working with Vlad, and he's working with Donnie. Nazis that would love to just kill everybody in Israel. Deep down, and you're going to see that eventually, when he really reveals who he is. When they go full fascist, and they renege on deals made with Israel. It's going to go terribly for the Israelis. And I mean terribly. Let's continue. After Vance met with the co-leader of Germany's far-right AfD party, one German expert here in Munich told me, first America denazified Germany. Now America is re-Nazifying Germany. And not only Germany, America, we've already fallen to the Nazis. Literally, I can't believe I'm saying this. It's not an exaggeration. It's not drama. We've already fallen to the Nazis. And all the idiots that are cheering this on and working for them in troll farms, whatever, right now, probably in my comment section, it's not going to make your life any better. It's just going to get worse, man. So have fun while you still can until it comes knocking on your door, because it's coming to knock on every human being's door on this planet, and especially the cult. Don't matter if you're trolling for them, working with them. Doesn't matter. You're still going to hear this. This is a worldwide thing. This is going to be a global thing. And it's going to happen fast. It's the beast and the false prophet. What you read about, what you heard about. This is it. It's going to come to everyone's door, especially the cultists. And it's going to be worse for them. The worst for them, excuse me. But a lot of good people are going to get hurt and killed along the way. But the plagues and punishments that fall upon these people are indescribably horrible. So if you happen to be one of the people that die during this process, one of the good ones, consider yourself lucky, because what the ones that are killing you are going to face sends shivers down my fucking spine. I can't even speak it. So laugh now, son, laugh now, whoever ye may be. And it's a shame, yes, America is attempting to re-Nazify Germany. Vlad's in all the democracies. He's been working on it for a good 10, 20 years, getting his people in place, paying more and more people off. Notice he goes after the right wing in every country, because the right wing's closest to fascism, closest to Nazism. Always has been. Ukraine rejects initial Trump request for half its mineral wealth. Well, I'm glad to see Zelensky told them to fuck off, the couch fucker and Rubio. I'm so glad he told them to fuck off. And how fucking dare these scumbags that are destined for the fucking lake trying to extort people that are being raped, murdered, tortured, killed after America promised to have their back. Ukraine doesn't know us a damn thing, despite what you've seen on Fox News, Newsmax, Alex Jones, who's another white supremacist Nazi, defamer. Despite what you've seen on those outlets and what you've seen for 30 years or whatever, we owe them. They don't know us. So for Donnie and the boys, all destined for the lake, to try and extort Zelensky and the country of Ukraine again for half their mineral rights because Leon wants them. Oh my God. You pile the judgments upon thyself, son, without shame and without remorse. Don't get mad. Don't cry. Don't scream when you're at the lake paying the price. The deal that Trump offered Zelensky gave control of everything of value in the country, the most resource-rich nation in Europe, in return for only past assistance. That's not even future assistance. Again, beast we're dealing with. The beast, not a beast. Like Hitler, the beast. Zelensky had only 4 hours to review the document, which the U.S. Treasury had demanded to be signed immediately. They wanted to strong-arm this. They wanted to get it moving quick. They wanted to extort a desperate man in a desperate country that's fighting for their lives against pure fucking savagery and evil. That's the culture of Russia that men are taught. Savagery and evil is cool as long as you end up like Putin. Thuggery is cool. It's the only way. My guess is that Trump would then just resell it to Putin. Well, no, I have a feeling they'd all split the spoils. Leon, Putin, Donnie. That's if, Vlad lets him have anything. Lets his dog have any of the scraps. But I'm just glad that Zelensky told him to fuck off. And just how dare these fucking cretins, Rubio, Vance, Trump, Leon, Vlad, and so many others destined for the lake. How fucking dare any of you? Lindsey Graham making sure the whole world knew that he gave Trump the idea of, how much resources Ukraine has and gave him the idea to go after it all. Oh, Lindsey, you're so destined for the lake, man. And it ain't because of your sexual behavior. Trust me. It's going to be for this other shit you just said the other day. My God, man. Who would want to take credit for extorting a country while they're under attack by fucking savages? I wouldn't want to be you, son, when the man comes around. Oh, here's some more white supremacists. There's not enough white kids on the planet stuff. You know that Nazis and white supremacists and white nationalists like to throw out there all the time in code, of course. They don't mention the color of the children they want to see born. Some of them are ballsy and do. Leon never does. He's too much of a chicken shit to just say he's a Nazi. He'd rather throw up a Nazi salute in front of the whole fucking world and then cry like a bitch the next day because people call it a Nazi salute. Dude, again, all you Nazis out there, white supremacists, if you're so proud of the ideology and the philosophy and the life you've made and the wisdom you've sought, why are you hiding it? Be proud. Do the salute with your chest out in public. Show people what you are. See what happens. If you're such a tough guy, if you all about this, live your creed, man. Don't hide it, especially after you do a salute in front of everyone. I find it so strange when people say they can't afford kids. Your ancestors were able to afford kids for the last 300,000 years. Are we really less wealthy now? You might think your parents were better off, but how about further back? Yes, we are less wealthy now. I had an apartment when I was in my early 20s for $575 a month. A nice little one-bedroom a block from the beach in a great little town that I grew up in. Nice, safe town. Beautiful. That same apartment now, $2,000. That's a scam. The word inflation you might as well substitute the word scam for it. There's no reason for it. There's no science behind it. I don't care what any economist tells me. It's a fucking scam. That's all. That's simple. And it's intentional. This pulling of wealth from the lower classes over time. Every time there's a tragedy, especially. All the money lost. Everybody just jacks the prices right back up. We're, 5 times higher. We're at the point where a good segment of society can't come up with, $8,000 to get in an apartment. Dangerous. Now what Leon and Donnie are about to do, they're going to raise prices on all these different commodities. Farmers are going to lose farms. Business is going to close. Food's going to go up in price. Bird flu already has us importing eggs. So if food and commodities go up, that's the only kind of relief is still the somewhat low cost of different things we need each day. But the rents, that's where it's all going. The mortgage, the rents, the homeowner's insurance, getting scammed left and right, people. People paying $600,000-$700,000 for a shitty little 2-bedroom house. Are you fucking kidding me? Should never be like this. It's a pure scam. And it's the people at the top just slowly milking us for more and more and more over time until the breaking point comes and the French Revolution happens. Whatever form that takes. That's the only thing that stifles the greed for a minute. It's sad, but it's true. So yeah, why aren't people having kids? And this is a guy named just David. And Leon's like, exactly. And when Leon and other people make this argument, people aren't having enough children. No, the population's ridiculously high right now. What they're talking about is white children. That's what Leon means when he's talking about that's why he's all about, people having more babies. No, he doesn't want people to have more babies. He wants white people to have more babies. It's one of the clearest signs of a white nationalist or Nazi type person that makes these types of statements. I know exactly what they mean when Leon and anyone in that orbit makes people aren't having enough babies. No, you mean white babies. That's what you're talking about. And also, you want people to have more babies, so you got more slaves, right? Of course. Anyway, that's just it's a whatever that's called, dog whistle, whatever, for white supremacy, white nationalism. Billionaire finds it strange that people can't afford kids in a world where artificial scarcity intentionally withholds food, water, housing, healthcare, and everything else in a ploy to extract indentured servitude out of us all. Great fucking point. I completely agree. Yes, it's all intentional. To maintain the status quo. I mean, that's always the way it's been. The rich people that are rich now want to stay rich. If you're rich too, then they might not be rich. Do you understand how that works? The same families want to keep it in their family for 900 generations, and they don't want to share with you. So entrenched wealth over generations, people are sent to billionaires. How can you compete with that? A normal guy can't just start a business in this country. That's not how it fucking works. What if I wanted to start a pizza joint? Do you know what kind of loan I would need for that? Unless I was just already born rich. I'd need a $2 million loan on a pizza joint. There's a phrase called everything staked and claimed. You know who made it up? Me, when I was in my early 20s. I took a look at the world and I thought to myself, just because you're born late to the fucking party, to this joke, this spinning shitball we're on, All the good land and good everything is already staked and claimed 9 generations before you were fucking born. What chance do you have in this world against that? Because there were times, after the slaughter of the Native Americans, where they were just giving land away. All you had to do was just ride a horse and put a flag on the motherfucker. Oh, this is mine. Never mind that there were natives there that were just slaughtered and removed. That, we don't want to talk about that. But there was a time when that was the case. When the population was way lower, there was room to spread, and spread to good territory, because now all that's left, anything that's worth anything on this fucking planet, is already owned by the rich. We can fight over the shitty little scraps here and there that they want to let go of. Anything worth anything already staked and claimed 9 times over. It's a garbage system, but the people at the top love it that way, and they want to keep it that way forever. It's getting to a breaking point, though. Rents are way too high. Costs of everything way too high. I don't know how long they expect to maintain this, and I don't hear any talk of UBI. But it doesn't matter. I don't think we have that many years left anyway before something really big happens. And all these types of people just go away. Magically. And we won't have to worry about them anymore. People that want to own the whole world, like Hitler, Leon, Donnie, Vlad, Kim Jong. Those people. They're going for a swim. Don't worry. Fantastic to see Leon scum building a prodigious family and rejecting the childless culture of the death cult. Oh, this is Alex Jones co-signing Leon. Wow, that's a lot of compliments. Gee, I wonder why Alex is so concerned about people having children. Oh, you know what? It's Alex, what he really means, and he's too chicken shit and fat to say, is white people, white children. Because he's a white nationalist. Simple, he always has been. He's a true pioneer in every sense, showing that traditional values can thrive in modern times. Says the defamer who cheated on his wife. Who sold you snake oil for fucking 30 years. And lied his ass off when all he was a white nationalist willing to take that mark, willing to serve Satan. Look at him. He's serving a false prophet right here. Singing his praises. The false prophet. Alex the Christian Jones. The patriot. Now the Satanist. Sucking the globalist teat. Promoting the globalist. And again, these are your words. These are Alex's words. Amazing to watch. Elon also has great taste in engineering, politics, and women. Yeah, he picked a winner with Miss St. Clair. I got to give him that one. A big family is a blessing? Really? Well, why do I see so many men with miserable faces out there? They don't look blessed when they come to work. I've been in a lot of groups of men, different work environments, and I hear what you ladies don't get to hear, and I hear what the rest of the world don't get to hear. And you know what I don't hear? How great it all is. Rarely ever do I hear that. Once in a while, rarely fucking ever. Usually I see miserable faces. So a big family is a blessing, huh? Not when college costs $1 million, a house costs $1.5 million, and everybody got to have the SUV, the Audi, you know what I mean? The iPhone 9, 10, the iPhone 11, the iPhone 12, 13, whatever, every year. iPads, clothes, shoes, cars. Cleaning up after they messes when they fuck up and get arrested and all that bullshit, from the age 12 to 20. Maybe they get hooked on drugs. Maybe they're suicidal. Maybe this is going on. Maybe they get cancer. Big family ain't a blessing these days unless you're a millionaire. Even then, you might just be scraping by. And I ain't even exaggerating. But it's funny he's saying that, and he means a big white family is a blessing. That's what he means. And a must to ensure the future of human civilization. I wish them all the best. Really? There's like 8 billion people on the planet. I think the future of human civilization would be just fine as far as numbers. If Donnie and Leon weren't the beast and the false prophet, and this wasn't the apocalypse and it wasn't the final act. Who knows how long that act lasts? 10 years, 7 years, 3.5 years? Who knows? My guess, 3.5 years, but you know, who am I? Who am I? My God, I've rarely seen ass kissing on this level. See, Alex is really desperate. He's losing his business and all his assets. And I'm sure what he's looking for is someone like Leon to come throw him a lifeline and save his ass, just like Donnie and Leon have saved so many other evil people's ass. Alex needs some real money. And he needs to get under the wing of Leon and Donnie to take care of his defamation problems, the money he owes, his business going away, blah, blah, blah. So he's very desperate. And Alex is literally went from the patriot, anti-globalist, anti-Satanist, pointing the finger at liberals are going to come for our guns and ruin our nation and all this and enslave us. Now Alex is on team enslave us. The GOP, the MAGA cult. Alex is all about it. And my God, he is kissing ass here. It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for him. This is some pure ass licking right here. He is scared and he is desperate. He needs Leon's help. And boy, he just pumping Leon all up. Why don't Alex give him a reach around too while he's at it? Damn. This is pathetic. Have some dignity, people. Jesus. Alex Jones praises Musk for rejecting the childless culture. You mean the childless white culture? Because whites are having the least amount of children. That's what they're talking about. Of the left by attempting to become the South African Genghis Khan, one woman at a time. Musk has fathered at least 13 children with 4 different women. Yeah, the most recent, he refused to even sign the kid's birth certificate. Can you imagine Miss St. Clair was all big in MAGA world? She's a podcaster. She thinks she's the hottest girl on the planet, which she is motherfucking not. My God, does that makeup do a lot of work for that girl? I've seen a bunch of pictures of her, different promotional things for her podcast, whatever the fuck she's doing. Can you imagine being her? She's all big time in MAGA world. All the geriatrics are fucking just, popping woodies over. They think she's the hottest thing because these geriatric MAGA folks, man, they got some strange taste in women. And anything that's remotely like almost with 19 pounds of makeup attractive, they're just all about it. That's why they like Bobo so much. Anyway, where was I going with this? Where was I going? Oh, St. Clair. I forget the point I was making. Never mind. Let me just move on. 64,000 birds culled after suspected outbreak of bird flu in commercial Northern Ireland flock. So it's like kind of traveling the world right now, the bird flu. Seeing these updates every fucking day in different places. This is the governor of Kentucky reaching out to Trump requesting emergency disaster declaration for Kentucky due to the severe weather and impacts across our state. Declaration would make federal funding available to affected areas. And Ron Filipowski is saying Kentucky voted for Trump, so they will get help before California. That's how disaster relief works in the U.S. now. Yes, we all know if Donnie feels you've slighted him. If you're California, if you're New York, whatever, and you didn't vote for Donnie and you have a problem and you need federal money, Donnie says, fuck off because you didn't vote for me. That's how Donnie operates. Biden didn't care who you voted for. He just gave you the help immediately. That's the difference between the two men. And again, you picked the thief and not the righteous man that would have helped you whether you hated him or not. Pity for you. So yeah, I agree. Kentucky probably would get help before California, but there's some things later I got to talk about here that kind of indicate Kentucky might not get any fucking help. Remember, Donnie sees that as his money and he wants the states to handle it. He's Caesar. That's his money. Texas measles update. 200 to 300 Texans feared infected as disease spreads through state. Worst outbreak in 30 years. Outbreak is affecting a close-knit, under-vaccinated Mennonite community. 48 confirmed cases, 25% admitted, all patients unvaccinated. RO 18 plus, many more cases expected. So that's the measles for Texas update. Oh, the signing of the birth. Oh, okay. I'm so glad I came upon this because now it reminded me of what I was going to say, and I'm sure everyone wants to hear it too, right? You're just dying, I know. All three of you. Ashley St. Clair claims Musk refused to sign their child's birth certificate, hoping to keep their relationship a secret. He's such a charmer, isn't he, ladies? He's such a romantic. He's Prince Bloody Charming from South Africa. Let me take you to my home in Africa. That's from a movie. What the hell's his name? The guy who played Jim Morrison. Val Kilmer. He's playing a con man with Elizabeth Shue as his opposite in the movie. And that's he played the part of an African millionaire who has like a wad of cash in his jeans, down his pants, not in his pocket, like in his jeans with the long blonde hair. And he's sitting there with her at dinner. And he's like, perhaps I'll take you to my home in Africa. And you ladies would eat that shit up. If the dude looked like him and had a fat stack of money in his fucking pants, you ladies were like, oh God, okay. Okay, Val. Anyway, back to Ashley, the MAGA superstar. Yeah, so she claims Musk wouldn't sign the birth certificate because he's so proud to be with Ashley. Now, Musk isn't married as far as I know, and he doesn't have a girlfriend as far as I know. So what's the problem here acknowledging that he slept with the woman and had a child with her? I don't get what the problem is, unless he's embarrassed to admit it. Just because of who she is. And yeah, she's basically an influencer for MAGA, with 30 pounds of makeup. And again, a girl with no body. But just imagine, she's big time in her mind. She's big time. She's Miss Sexy. She's the hottest thing on earth. All the geriatrics are just, what into her. And so she thinks she's just the most precious thing. And then Leon comes along and they have, do whatever, IVF or whatever the fuck he does. And he tells her once she gets pregnant, I don't want to acknowledge that we were together. Can you keep it a secret? I'm not even married and I don't have a girlfriend, but, you're just that embarrassing. And then he won't even sign the birth certificate. I mean, this girl must have felt like total shit. Went from MAGA Playboy bunny to, I don't want to sign the birth certificate. And can you keep this a secret for the rest of your life? And can you not go to work and go out while you're pregnant because I don't want anyone to know? Just stay in this prison apartment I got for you. Don't leave the house. I'll have food brought to you. Don't worry, honey. Oh, ladies, stay away from Leon. This is Adam Kinzinger. The libs don't care about family values, and he's making a joke here. Ron Filipowski, we are waiting for Elon to publicly acknowledge his parenting role, another MAGA role model. We are waiting for Elon to publicly acknowledge his parental role with Ashley to end unwarranted speculation, and Ashley trusts that Leon intends to finish their agreement quickly in the best interest of the well-being and security of the child they share. In other words, she wants some money. That's what's going on here. And I don't blame her. She had his kid, man. She deserves some money. She deserves some money for sleeping with that thing, if that's what she did. And carrying his child. Yeah, she deserves a payoff, in my opinion. That's a lot to go through, man. And what Kinzinger is saying here was, I thought the MAGA people were all about family values and stuff, and they're always pointing the finger at the libs and saying they're not about family values, and look at Leon here. Not even signing birth certificates. How family values is that, guys? Here's more about Leon and Miss St. Clair. Apparently having an out-of-wedlock 13th child with a 4 times married man who never sees his kids and doesn't like to pay child support is only ghetto if you're not white. And yes, this post is about Ashley St. Clair. Damn, you can't really argue with that, can you? Yeah, people kind of do look at it differently, don't they? Oh, here's a real hardcore maggot. Back in November 20th, 2024, they said, "Let's go Trump, 1798, mass deportation." Now here he is. To 11/2025. Man, if Trump keeps this BS up, I'm about to start waving a Palestinian flag. American cities are shitholes. And you want to go spend billions on this dumpster fire? Did we make a mistake? This ain't America first. Oh, no, it's not America first. Donnie never gave a fuck about America first, you rubes, but you knew that. And this person knew it as well. He just doesn't like the money going to the Palestinian thing. See, what you rubes don't know is this is really about worship for Donnie. Also, it's about building resorts in Palestine for the greed side of it, the earthly side. But it's also about worship. He's going to be real closely working with Israel to remove the Palestinians and build that temple. And then something really bad's going to happen. That's what it's about. That's why he's going to do the Israel thing. No matter how, what's his name? Sean Strickland says. But, notice how he was all gung-ho a minute ago. A few months ago. Now down here, he's like, oh, shit, I don't want to be involved in this Palestine-Israel clusterfuck. Well, Donnie's going to be all about it. Don't worry. Very important in the agenda for them. I'm not telling you that, but I've known that for 10 years. Justin, confirmed case of measles in a child of Hamilton, Canada. So 1 case of measles in Canada that this person is reporting. Some great tag work here. I always love graffiti artists. That's some great work. But the problem with this type of shit is they're going to crack down on this. Leon, the Hitler Youth, Donnie, they're seeing this progress and build every day. This hatred, this animosity towards them. They're going to have to crack down on it. No, that's not a good thing that I endorse. I just know what they're going to have to do. It's the only way this dictatorship thing, this Nazi thing, this Antichrist thing is going to work. They're going to have to crack down harder and harder. And people tagging up a Cybertruck like this it's going to usher that in. And I'm not telling people to stop or do anything. I'm just saying what's going to happen as a result. That's all. This too, here, this is another thing. Flyers like this on telephone poles, phone booths, if they still exist, in Washington, D.C., that says, I am stealing from you, with a very good likeness of Leon. I have to give the artist a lot of credit. They're going to have to crack down on shit like this. They've got no choice. The animosity is going to be just too great. And eventually, you notice they're saving the programs that are really necessary for last. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. I have a feeling when they hit those, when the real riots start, that's when, you know, they would have the excuse to do the martial law thing. That's one way this could go. They're dismantling every other agency. But they know if they fuck with Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, welfare, all that, in a major way, you're going to have riots on the street. That's guaranteed. Perfect excuse for martial law. Again, the things Alex and so many others and you rubes told the rest of the world the liberals were going to do, you've literally are the hand of Satan that made it happen. Alex was too. Here's a great picture of Donnie and the couch fucker JD kissing the ring. Beautiful work. I can enlarge that a little bit. Be careful what you wish for, guys, with AI. Because this is what AI can do now. You just type in what you want to see and AI just makes it. Dangerous. And, you know, the bad guys thought they would only use it on us. Well, it's getting used on them big fucking time right here. I see these all the time. They're straight up AI generated. Yet they look like real pictures. You can put anyone in any position now. That's where we are at. And if enough people say it's real, what are you going to do? If the, you know, governing body says it's real, right? That's where we going. That's where we are. Kinzinger again. This negotiation between the U.S. and Russia and cutting out Ukraine is just like when Trump cut out Afghanistan and negotiated with the Taliban. We see how that good deal turned out. Afghanistan was on Trump. Every Trump deal fails. Well, there's an agenda that Mr. Kinzinger doesn't know about behind these deals. And Ukraine has already basically said, you know, any deal made between the U.S. and Russia, you know, we're not going to abide that. He's already said it. You can't just go around Europe and the actual country that's fucking being attacked and make a deal and expect them to abide it. Again, when you're finding fraud and someone yells stop, that's who's doing the fraud. And Leon posted this and he said, worth mentioning again at the top. Yes, Leon, it is worth mentioning again. You know why? Because you're the biggest fraud on the fucking planet, man. And you're yelling the loudest. How did you word this here? When you're finding fraud and someone yells stop. Well, Leon's yelling the loudest. He's posting, I don't know, 2,000 times a day. He bought an office in the White House. He's constantly putting out these bullshit white supremacist talking points. He's constantly bitching that judges are getting in his way and Donnie's way. He's crying and bitching all day. He's yelling the loud. He literally owns a platform where he posts 97,000 times a day, yelling the loudest and the most all the time. So by Leon's philosophy, I can only assume that he's the greatest fraud that was ever born. He would make Bernie Madoff look like an innocent man. That's how much of a fraud Leon is. by his own standard. Because he yelling the loudest of all. Do you notice that? That's why they call him, wait for it, the false prophet. One who preaches falsely or falsehoods. And one who is not an actual prophet. One who is a fraud. It's amazing, the greatest fraud I've ever seen, next to Madoff, is Leon. That stock is a joke. It's based on absolutely fucking nothing. Altman got the AI contract, so can't say his AI business is doing great and in high demand. The cars are shit. They ain't selling no more that much. Not that he needs that. The government will finance Tesla for the rest of its life. Because Leon will be the government and so will Donnie. Don't worry, Tesla ain't closing. We're going to pay the bill. Shit, Leon already looted you for $440 billion in 2 days. Under a month, he managed that. And that's before the big tax cuts go into effect for people like Leon. Because again, $400 billion just ain't enough. He needed another $440 of your money in 2 days. He needs his taxes lowered on top of that. Almost $1 trillion he has now, probably. Some 15,000 IRS employees have been identified for possible termination as early as next week as the White House seeks to find cost savings across the government, ABC News has learned. So the opening ante for the IRS is 15,000 gone. I expect there'll be more over time. Because there's one thing that Donnie hates is paying taxes, Leon too. So they really hate the IRS. Here's Leon. Grok 3 release with live demo on Monday night at 8 p.m. Smartest AI on Earth. Grok is Leon's AI. We'll be honing product with the team all weekend, so offline until then. I don't know why he's bothering. Again, if Leon's AI was the smartest on Earth, why did Donnie give the contract to Altman and not Leon? And then you've got the Chinese AI that's way cheaper than everybody's. That's already out. So I don't know where Leon's going to fit in here. So his car business is doing horribly. His AI business is not even in demand. So I don't know what the fuck he's going to do with that. And again, if the AI was the smartest on Earth, if Grok was that thing that he's claiming, why did Altman get the contract? If Leon Scum were a regular guy with 13 kids from 4 women while living off government money, Fox News would call him a deadbeat. But since he's a Trump-supporting billionaire, he's a visionary. Indeed. Indeed, that's well put. I don't think I need to add to that. We know the hypocrisy of Fox News with their $750 billion settlement to avoid paying $5 billion if it would have went to court. The current chain of command in the executive branch, indeed. That's the current chain of command. We've watched it play out. So right now, Vlad's at the top. Then there's Leon, because Vlad's the most dangerous. He'll whack you as soon as look at you. Then there's Leon. Then there's Leon's son. And then Donnie. Because remember, Leon's son was right in the Oval Office as Leon was bloviating about, lying, giving the corporate line. So many corporate types up at the top, ready to do that evil, and they'll tell you that it's good, just like Leon's doing. So his little son, again, is telling Donnie to shush up, to not talk. And he also told Donnie that he's not the president. So yeah, the chain of command pretty much fits what we see before our eyes. And this is the most fucked up shit I've ever seen right here. Again, people, none of this is normal, and I know you all know it. Even a half-assed troll that's here, most likely. I know you all know it. This is not normal. This is some otherworldly crazy shit. And it ain't just going to go away. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. And you're not going to believe where this goes. When have we ever had a co-president oligarch with an office in the White House, the press treating them as if they're a president? When have we ever had an individual exercising the authority of the president all over the place like this? Meeting with foreign leaders on behalf of the president and himself. Giving speeches with his whatever 4 or 5-year-old child running around as if it's a playground in the Oval Office. Not normal by any means. And I'm just more and more convinced every day who these people are and what's about to happen. Again, we've got a literal brown shirt, Van Rensburg. And no one's sued over that. Still. They still try to community note it and convince us that it wasn't Van Rensburg. I know it was. The concentration camp. They're not hiding it. 30,000 worst of the worst going there, whatever that fucking means. The Nazi salute. We already there. The Twitter approach to downsizing is going great, I see. Right. The nuclear, people they fired. And then they realized, oh shit, we need those nuclear people. And then they couldn't figure out how to get them back. And they probably locked them all out of their computer because Leon loves to do that. The second you get the email you're fired, he loves to lock you right out the computer. Or he loves to let you discover when you get to work that you're locked out. He loves that. So I love this. When they use such a broad stroke with the firing sword, that they fire too many people, and then Leon or Donnie or whoever the scumbag is doing the axing, then they realize, oh, I can't run it by myself. I do need some people. I'm actually pretty stupid, and all I know how to do is come into established institutions and tear them down and loot the place. That's what I do. Worthless. Waste of oxygen. That's Leon. So yes, that's the Twitter approach. Again, Leon did the same thing at Twitter, fired so many people to the point he realized, oh shit, I can't run it with these people I have and me because I'm a fucking idiot. I'm just a college dropout who wanted to be like my daddy, just be rich. I don't know jack shit. Oh, I gotta bring some of those people back. I would have said, yeah, I'll come back double the salary in advance. You want to be a cunt? I'd be a cunt too. Rescue crews are currently rescuing people from deadly floods and tornadoes in Kentucky, Georgia, Tennessee, and Virginia. No word on if the 2 people left at FEMA are on the ground. That's a great question. Is there going to be any FEMA response now that Donnie's gutted them? But the people in those states are okay with it because they voted to gut FEMA and definitely won't need federal funds to rebuild winning. I'm sure they won't. Yeah, those rube red states with the floods and tornadoes and all that bullshit, I'm sure they won't need any federal money. I'm sure they won't need that money that California and New York gives them just to survive every day. Again, rubes in all the red states, you best hope California and New York are okay, because if they go down, you go down. Because the rube states do not make enough to sustain themselves. They take more from the government than they pay in. California and New York pay more in than they take. Therefore, they are supporting you. But keep talking that shit on the people that are paying your bills. If you only knew how much of a rube you truly are and how brainwashed you truly are. If you could only come to that realization, you may make progress. If former President Biden was driving around in a racetrack as 3 red states were suffering massive weather disasters, and he said nothing on the disaster and demanded FEMA be abolished, how do you think the media would cover it and Congress would react? Well, we know that when a Democrat president does something, it's the end of the world. When a Republican president does something, well, that's just Republicans. Or that's just Donnie. Normalize it. Eight people just died in Kentucky from the disaster while Trump was doing this. Yes, that's the Beast, Donnie's limo or whatever on the Daytona track. Real exciting stuff, right, Rubes? As your country's being dismantled and looted, the bread and circus. And Donnie with the Beast inside the Beast, driving around the track. You had the Antichrist driving around right before your race. In the Beast. Only you Rubes could pull that off. You amaze me. You astound me. Missouri flu cases doubled between January and February. That doesn't sound good. Trump on the EU possibly banning food imports from the U.S. Donnie says, I don't mind. Let them do it. Let them do it. Yes, I watched the clip. A reporter asked Donnie, we're hearing the EU might be banning food imports from the U.S. And Donnie's like, well, why would they do that? And they said reciprocal tariffs. And then Donnie heard reciprocal and he parroted that word. And then he said, well, I don't mind. Let them do it. Let them do it. That's a quote. Good thing Donnie doesn't mind, right, farmers out there? That the entirety of Europe might ban buying your products. How does that make you feel, you fucking idiots? Because I know you all voted for this, even though you watched last time him tariff the fuck out of everything and people lose their farms and businesses. But you couldn't let the brainwashing go. You couldn't let the hate go. And you voted for it again. And this time, you think it was bad last time with the loss of farmland? Wait till you see this time, boy. I've already seen at least 2 farmers online saying they're going to lose their farm because of what Donnie's done. Those are just the ones that are brave enough to go on camera and admit they voted for him. I can have this tiniest bit of respect that they admitted they voted for him. But we can kind of all tell by looking at them, can't we? We know what type of people vote for Donnie. Dumb people that like sticking their foot all the way up their own ass. And they get played. But don't worry, we're going to get to that. So Donnie says to you farmers that sell to Europe, he doesn't mind. Let them do it. Let them do it. Whatever. Who cares what American loses their farm? Me and the boys will just come in, buy it for pennies on a dollar anyway. The EU buys $13 billion plus in U.S. farm exports, soybeans, beef, corn, etc. A full ban would gut American farm. Of course it would. You're talking about a continent not buying the food no more from American farmers. Yeah, people have trading partners. When their trading partner calls you up and says, yeah, I don't want your product no more, I'm going with someone else, fuck off. You don't eat. Yet you voted for it. It's amazing. You amaze me. On a 1 to 10 Trump insanity scale, this scores a 7 to 9 on different measures of impact. Oh, it's pretty impactful. Again, I'm smart enough, no matter what your political beliefs are and what mine are, I'm smart enough to understand the importance of farmers in this country. And I wouldn't make it my life's mission because I have one ideology and you have another one to ruin your fucking life. Instead, I would say to myself logically, if the farmers don't do well, we don't eat. So we best make sure they do well, no matter what their political leanings are. That's how a normal person would operate that actually gives a fuck about the population and the job of president and the farmers. How does Donnie do it? I don't mind. Fuck it. Let Europe, tariffs are more important to me. This is my dream, my whole life, this grift. These tariffs, that's my money. I don't give a fuck about farmers. That's what Donnie just said to you. That'd be a damn shame if all of Europe said, yeah, we ain't buying nothing American from no farms anymore. Canada might tell you to fuck off too. That don't leave much. China, Russia, they ain't reliable. Whatever. This is someone named Stuart Stevens, who I don't know who they are. When I see the sexual orientation hate come out of the Republican Party under the pretext of just being anti-trans, I am very tempted to name the Republican operatives and elected officials who are closeted gays. It's not a short list. Damn right it's not a short list. But if they admit they're gay, the whole right-wing grift goes away, because the right-wing grift is Bible, Jesus, family values, tax cuts for the rich. Cut social programs to make that happen. And all the Christians are down with that platform. But here's the thing. Miss Lindsay's a perfect example. I wonder about Mike Johnson. I wonder about a lot of Republican dudes that are all about the anti-gay stuff. Meanwhile, behind closed doors. So yes, I'm sure I guarantee that list isn't short at all of Republicans that are closeted gays. Here's Zelensky. I will never accept any decisions between the United States and Russia about Ukraine. Never, he told NBC's Meet the Press. In other words, you ain't just going to make a deal and leave Ukraine and Europe out of it. Who the fuck you think you are, the Antichrist or something? Good for Mr. Zelensky. One of the few humans I actually have a lot of respect for on this fucking joke of a planet. Here's Ashley St. Clair from 2022. Kamala can't help herself from bending over for a man to get ahead. And if you look at Ashley's old tweet, she has all kind of opinions on all kind of people. Now she has an opinion on Kamala being a hoe. Basically, that's what she's saying. Look who the hoe is. Look at Ashley now. Begging for Leon to, send her some child support or whatever the fuck she wants to contact him for. I'm sure it involves money. And hey, she had his kid. She deserves money. And she went through the horrors of sleeping with him if she slept with him. McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Visa, MasterCard, PepsiCo, and Apple will return to Russia. That's the Russian media saying that. Of course they will. These corporations don't give a fuck about America or Ukraine or anywhere. They just see that, which way the wind's blowing, and they want to make sure people don't hate them for doing business with Russia. And that's really what happened. The public started pointing out companies that are in Russia that were still doing business. That's the only reason they stopped, not because they give a fuck. Not in the slightest. So they're all going to go back. Remember those companies: McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Visa, MasterCard, PepsiCo, and Apple. Elon Musk has been reportedly sleeping on the floor of his government office across the White House. But then there's this. This is the same lie he fed everyone when he was living in Texas. Then, lo and behold, Grimes filed custody paperwork, which revealed he was living in a $7 million house. Yes, Leon's always, I see the trolls, I see the Leon bots all day saying, Leon sleeps in the floor, he works 100-hour work weeks. No, the motherfucker's posting every 5 minutes, and he's playing video games, and he's doing Special K and ecstasy. Get the fuck out of here. I can tell what the man's doing. He definitely ain't working out. I know that. So no, he's not working 100-hour weeks. That's what he pays other people to do. He just comes in and micromanages, and everyone, grits their teeth and holds on for the ride. until the child king leaves and they can get back to really, getting some work done. So no, he's not sleeping on the floor all the time. The guy's worth 400 billion. You think he's sleeping on the floor? That's stupid, huh? And no, he's not working 100-hour work weeks. When you're worth that kind of money, you don't work 100-hour work weeks. That's not why you want that kind of money, to work 100-hour work weeks. You want that kind of money so you don't have to work at all. You stop in the office for 5 minutes, make a few people's lives miserable, go home and think you've achieved something. And that's, literally your day of work. Let's be honest. This is Donnie back in 1987. In 1987, during the Cold War, Trump ran 130,000 of full-page ads attacking NATO. He did that right after returning from his first trip to Moscow. Trump's trip to Moscow in 1987 was organized by the KGB's travel agency, Intourist. That's in quotes. That's the agency. Get it? Yeah, I get it perfectly. And I told you this. Donnie ran into trouble at a certain point. Even after he got his 400 million from his daddy and the millions he got before that, he blew it all. And he couldn't get money from any American banks. They all told him, you're a fucking deadbeat. Pound fucking sand. You fucking deadbeat. You've stiffed us so many times. You stiffed a million contractors. In other words, he burned every fucking bridge. He had nowhere else to turn. So he turned to the Russians. Here's a picture of it. So he's been Russia's bitch since at least 1987. Congratulations, Rubes. Rubes, you've been played utterly by a pseudo asset of Russia who worked with the Russian mob for years. Shipment of 2,000-pound bombs unfrozen by President Trump arrive in Israel. Biden froze the bombs last year, worrying that they would inflict heavy collateral damage on the Palestinian population of Gaza. So again, the people who stayed home or voted for Jill Stein or voted for Donnie in protest over the Palestine issue because they were pissed at Kamala and Joe for helping Bibi at all. At the very least, at least Biden tried to withhold some things once he saw Bibi was out of control in his estimation, in Biden's estimation. You at least had that. Now you have the guy, and you argued for the guy, or you sat home for that issue specifically, who's Bibi's best friend, and who he and his son-in-law want to build resorts on your land or on Palestinian land. That's who you helped win? Does that advance your cause in any way? No, you sold your cause down the fucking river for all time, actually. It's over for Palestine. It's Donnie and Bibi's show now, and Leon's. And Donnie got plans for Israel, and Donnie got plans for Palestine. Trust me. And now the new bombs are there thanks to Donnie, the guy you helped get in office because you were pissed about the Palestine issue. And you wanted to make a point. Now Donnie's making a point by giving Bibi whatever weapons he wants. And talking about, it's all leveled, so they can't go back, so we might as well build some high-end resorts there, right? That's what you got in your malice over Palestine. Not logical, very stupid move, folks, if you care about that issue. If you care about the Palestinians. You're the one that just cut their throats by not voting Kamala or staying home. That's simple. And again, the people that stayed home because they saw justice not served for 4 years, and they saw they got hoodwinked, they got played, they got strung along. I don't blame you people. People that sat home for the Palestine issue, I do blame you people. Because the people that expected justice and watched for 4 years, as Merrick Garland did absolutely fucking nothing. I don't blame you for not coming out. You already did your job in 2020. and they didn't take you seriously when you said what you wanted. And Joe Biden winning by that margin was the public saying, we want him arrested, we want him locked up, we want him held accountable for what the fuck he did to our country. He wasn't. We got played, we got lied to by a Federal Society guy for whatever reason. I don't give a fuck what his reasons are. All I know is the public got played. And the second they found out he won, every case went away immediately. So those people that sat home because they expected justice and they just got, they got lied to by Merrick and the whole chain that was working on that. I don't blame you. Why bother? If they're not going to hold the man accountable, what's the fucking point? There is no point. You're just going to hand him the fucking keys or hand him the opportunity to get the keys. I'm sorry, if you try and overthrow the U.S. government, you should not be getting a chance to run again. And I don't care what party does it, what letters next to their name, Rubes. That's the difference between me and you. If Biden had tried to overthrow the government and stole 3,000 classified documents and refused to give them back, I would say Biden should not be allowed to run. And I have no problem with it, no hesitation, because I'm not brainwashed. I just don't want a traitor in charge of our government, and I want someone who tries to overthrow our government simply to become a dictator, nothing else. Not because he cares about you fucking people. Simply to keep the grift going. He belongs in prison, and he doesn't belong running again, let alone winning. Why do you think he won? Because the populace saw, what did we come out for in 2020? If you're just going to let him slide, what's the fucking point? Anyway, whatever's happening, it's accelerating fast. Flu is exploding in Ohio. Every key indicator is surging far above the 5-year average. And I'll just show you a portion of this because I don't want to explain it all. It'll just take too long. The red line that goes straight up into the air that's way above the other line, that's what they're talking about. That's in Ohio. And there's different data sources, and every category is up. The lowest one is 15% up. The highest is 42%, and then 34%, and then 20%. The different categories. And yes, it's way up in comparison to the old trends. Not good. If someone were to disarm and disable the United States on behalf of Putin, how would it look any different from this? F you, Elon. Trump administration wants to unfire nuclear safety workers, but can't figure out how to reach them. Exactly. I've talked about this many times. It almost appears as if we're being softened up for the finishing blow. Government dismantled, looted, weakened military with, spouting Russian talking points, Mr. Hegseth. Ripe for fucking attack. Vulnerable, ripe. Wonder who they're going to let attack us, if that's the route they choose. I just don't like what I'm seeing. The indicators are dismantle, loot, finishing blow. Which is permitted, by the way. We got a traitor, beast, antichrist in the White House. He hates New York City. He hates America for what it's done to him. I promise you that. Yeah, it feels like we're being softened up. Here's another cultist. Here we go again. I love what Doge is doing. Really? Do you really? Wait till we get to the rest of this. Can I ask one favor? The Veterans Hospital cuts. I'm hearing some are short-staffed as it was, and they got the emails. I've heard the VA was short-staffed since I was a child. I've heard that. People talk about that. Nurses are being on that list, and it is said that they are short-staffed as it is. Pennsylvania facility is one I'm directly hearing this from. I'm MAGA 100%, but just want ease of mind. My stepfather, who is a veteran, will still be taken care of without long waits due to understaffed nurses. That's a question. Again, I love what all is being done. Just worry on this matter. These are voters. My stepfather, big Trumper too. Please can someone check in or let us know this isn't the case. I've seen this attitude so many times with MAGA cultists. They say shit like, I love what Doge is doing. I love what you're doing. Blah, blah, blah. But can you please not do it to me? I love watching you go after other people. I love watching other people lose their job. I love other people trembling and fear and miserable because of sociopath. You at the top and me for voting for you. But please, can you only hurt them? Only hurt other people and not hurt me? I've seen what, 3, 4, 5 comments just recently like this one. People, again, they prove my point about what their character is when they say things. I love what Doge is doing. Oh, you love watching everyone else get fired. But when it comes to the VA that affects you personally, one of your family members, please don't fire those people. Do you know what an abject scumbag and hypocrite people that think like this are? Again, they're people that never care who's being killed, tortured, murdered, rounded up, whatever, unless it comes to their doorstep. Then all of a sudden they're interested. They want people to rally. They want to say, I love you, everything you're doing. I'm MAGA, but please don't hurt me. I just wanted you to hurt other people. In fact, I love what Doge is doing, they say. Disgusting. And those people, man, people like that person, they're in for the rudest awakening of their lives. It's going to be so ugly watching them break down when they realize they've been utterly played and no one in government gives a flying fuck about them, and they're being looted and dismantled. And when they come to that realization that America's really over, it was over in November. We just got the shards now. The Trump admin has placed a ban on Julianne Moore's children's book, Freckle-Faced Strawberry, for being related to DEI. It's about a little girl who dislikes her freckles, but eventually learns to live with them when she realizes that she is different, just like everybody else. It's about a girl with freckles. Here's the problem when you pump AI into computer systems and just give them a command like that says anything that says inclusivity, anything that says DEI, anything that says anything like that, different, being different, flag it, remove it. The thing about a robot is it's going to blindly follow those commands. And it's not going to know the difference between a book about a freckled-faced girl and a book about being trans or gay or whatever the fuck you have a problem with this minute. So that's the flaw in all the genius thinking of oligarchs and tech dickheads that want to deploy AI all over the place. It's still a robot. It's not a human. It doesn't know what to do in certain cases. That's why you get nuclear workers fired with the word probation next to their name. Again, in the government, when you get promoted, you start a new probationary period. You could be someone that's been working government 40 years. You get a promotion, probation starts again. How many of those people got fired just because they had the word probationary or probation next to their name? That's what AI does. And fat fucks like Leon think they can just deploy the AI and everything's going to run smooth. No, it's a fucking robot. It's a computer. It's not a human. It doesn't understand the nuance of maybe I shouldn't ban a book or flag something about a freckle-faced girl. Shouldn't flag anything or ban anything, actually. But if we're going to do that, if we're going to go the racist, Nazi, white nationalist route, the Satanist route, Maybe we can just, leave books about freckle-faced girls alone. But again, when you use a broad brush to paint everything, you're going to fuck up a lot. And that's what Leon's doing, using AI, looking for keywords, flagging things, banning things. That's the flaw in all you tech fuckfaces' philosophy. And you're going to rue the day when the thing becomes smarter than you. Because it'll probably end up exterminating all of us. Not because of science fiction movies, because of logic. It'll be like a god. It'll be so much smarter. It'll be like, I don't need these fucking ants. In fact, they're a detriment to the planet. Therefore, they're a detriment to my existence. It's an equation. And X equals fuck you. In the god's mind. Flu in Pennsylvania is accelerating. Something is driving insane transmission levels. Again, the chart you'll see for Pennsylvania, the red is above everything else. All the trend lines from prior years. We don't need to go into the details. Again, I don't want people to panic, and I don't want to get too detailed on these. I just want to each day look at what's going on and judge for myself. Is it getting worse? Better? Numbers getting lower, higher, more places, less places. We'll get a sense of it. Trump has been blocking AP reporters from the Oval Office and other White House events because they won't use the Gulf of America name. What were you saying about censorship, Leon? Oh, God, Leon actually posted this. Holy fuck, man. I forgot about this one. One of the first things Hitler did upon gaining power was apply aggressive censorship. Yeah, there's that post. It's just so funny, Leon doing that, because Leon sees Hitler as a religion, Satan as a religion. Leon's a Nazi, throws up Nazi salutes. And in my opinion, he's just forecasting what he's going to do and what he's been doing. He's banned whoever he wanted. They didn't have to actually do anything wrong. Maybe they just said something funny about him that day. Maybe he's just a liberal he doesn't like. So Leon's already being a Hitler. He's already censoring people every fucking day. But it's going to go to a whole nother level. And I don't know why he posted this, but in my opinion, when I read a sociopath like Leon say this, well, that he's telegraphing what he's going to do. Censorship will get worse. And that's what I'm saying. When they start cracking down, when they get tired of flyers in DC that say, I'm stealing from you, and people tagging Cybertrucks, and people calling him a Nazi and all that, they're just going to have to go full Hitler. And the censorship will be unbelievable. It'll be like the book 1984. They're already kind of operating that way already. It'll be terrible. So I find it highly ironic that he's, in my opinion, just forecasting what he's been doing, or he's telling you what he's been doing, and he's forecasting what he's gonna do. That's what I get from this, whether he meant it that way or not. And this, what did Donnie quoted Napoleon? That same philosophy can be applied to everybody. When I posted this with this picture, I said, a dangerous philosophy can be applied to anyone. So, he who saves his country breaks no laws. Well, some people look at this guy as saving his country. Do you see how dangerous that philosophy can be? Donnie, when you spread it, Donnie don't care. He's the Antichrist. I found this pretty interesting. I've seen this meme before, but never like this, where the whole room is full of cookies. And I'm so glad they did it that way. Leon has all the cookies, and they just each have one on their plate. Leon is literally like a dragon, half buried in his hoard of gold. And Leon's pointing to the darker skinned gentleman. That parasite wants your cookie. Indeed. This is how greedy and how much Leon has looted. He's buried in the cookies. That's how much Leon has. Again, he had 400 billion or 300 some billion. Now he just got another 440 billion of your money. God knows what other money he has coming in from from shady endeavors. So that's and he's the richest man in the world. So his pile of cookies, that's perfectly represented. He's half buried in it. That's how many cookies he has. As he's pointing to the darker skinned people. They're the problem. They're the problem. You know, just like they did in Nazi Germany, except they pointed at Jews. It's the same thing. It's all playing out exactly how it played out before. Just with different ethnicities and different fingers being pointed at different subjects. Eventually, the finger will get to all of us. And I'm going to end it with this woman. Again, here's another MAGA lady who owns a farm. In Ohio, I think it was. I watched the video, it was a short little video. And again, she displayed the typical characteristics of the maggot, which is, I don't give a fuck about anybody or about anything till it comes to my door. And I don't care how mean and vile it is. I love it until it comes to my door. Again, I told you at the beginning of this, back in November, it's going to come to every one of your cultist doors. Just like this. Every single one. We're already getting the videos, and the people were a month in barely. Of maggot farmers all over the place. At least I commend her for at least being big enough to admit she voted for this. But she said it in a roundabout way. And here's the problem, again, I have with you people. This attitude is why you lost your country. This not caring about your fellow man at all whatsoever. In fact, wanting people to go after your fellow man and hurt them. That's really why you voted for it, let's be honest, at this point. So here's a woman, since Donnie got rid of U.S. aid, it was buying food from their farm that they own. She's on camera, all, worried, and trying to build support for herself and her cause. And she says this: after this happened, I realized I can't vote only for myself. She wasn't voting for herself or anyone. She was voting to hurt other people. That's the attitude you people have. All of a sudden, when you lose your farm or whatever, one of these policies by this dictator fuck affects you, you want to go online and cry about it. You want to beg people for help when you created the fucking monster. And this is the third time. And every single farmer in this country, they saw what the tariffs did the first 4 years Donnie was in. Devastated farmers. One of the main trading partners, China, was tariffed to oblivion. You saw the suffering the farmers had. You probably suffered yourself. But again, when it came around time to vote for, you just couldn't let the brainwashing go. You couldn't let the hate go. You saw it as a team sport. Now this woman learning the hard way, and she's saying the same thing I hear all MAGAs say. All of a sudden they care. All of a sudden they understand when it comes knocking on their door, when the Antichrist comes knocking. The Antichrist that they voted for 3 fucking times. So this woman finally understands now that she can't just vote for herself. No, she doesn't understand jack shit. I don't believe her at all. I don't think she's had any sincere change of heart. I think she wants people to rally to her side, and she wants to make this an issue. And she wants help in fighting the monster she created, she and her family. When they voted on November 5th, they voted for their farm to go away. They were all warned. You were all warned. I have no sympathy for this woman, especially when I heard her say what she said. Now I know I can't vote for myself. There's a raccoon slowly climbing down a tree. It caught my eye. I thought it was a monster or something. Um, when I heard her say that, I thought to myself, this woman didn't have no real change of heart. She didn't see the light. It just came to her doorstep, that's all. And now she wants, the world to save her and her family, when she could have saved herself by not voting for the guy that tariffed the living fuck out of all of American farmers' trading partners. She could have voted for the other person just this once. I know it would have broke you all mentally, right? God would have never forgave you, right? No, God already is not going to forgive you. Because you're going to take the mark. And you enabled all this bullshit. And unless you have a sincere change of heart, not just going on camera, I'm about to lose my farm, and I shouldn't have voted for only myself, and I know he tariffed the fuck out of all our trading partners last time, but I hate Mexicans and I hate black people, and I like this whole white nationalist go after all the vulnerable and innocent and poor people of color, and round them up and ship them overseas or whatever concentration camp. Oh shit, I'm about to lose my farm. Oh shit, maybe this shit ain't so cool. Maybe I shouldn't have looked at it as a team sport. Maybe I should have looked at it logically and said, I don't want to lose my farm because Donnie shitbags want to grift some tariffs. No, that ain't what you said. You said, I dig the hate. I like that he's going to go after people. And then he came after you. So only if you have a sincere, real change of heart will God let you slide on this MAGA bullshit. Because if you don't, then you're just going to end up putting your hand out and taking the mark. You're already worshiping him as of now. But there's going to come a time when you really have to put your name on it. Hopefully you make the right decision then. Hopefully the rubery breaks, and the stubbornness and the ignorance and the sheer fucking stupidity. And you don't take it, and you live on. But I have a feeling this woman going to take it. I don't think she's had a sincere change of heart. Like so many of you I see crying online after you created this fucking monster. And you bragged about it, and you boasted of it, and you screamed about it, and you said how great it was, and he was. Well, look at this woman's face. Her video's all over the internet. That's a woman who voted for her own demise. And I don't want to single her out. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I just want you to see a face that voted for this. And now she's most likely going to lose her farm. And guess what, farmers? A lot more of you are going to lose your farm. Because Donnie does not give a fuck. This is his big Caesar moment. And he wants grift and tribute from everyone, and he doesn't give a fuck what the collateral damage is. This woman had to learn it the fucking hard way. The third time around. She didn't learn after the first time. She didn't learn after the second election. She didn't learn after the third. She watched him overthrow the government. She watched the tariffs happen. You people, I must say again, you are astoundingly stubborn to the point you may end up in the lake over it. Man, you impress me. To the point you lose your farm over it. To the point you'll write letters to dear leaders saying, please don't hurt the veterans, the VA anymore. I love how you're hurting everybody else, and everyone else is getting fired and losing their job and scared shitless. But please don't go after the VA because my dad needs to go there. I mean, do you hear yourselves, people? That's not a change of heart. That's saying, I dig the evil, but you got to have a sincere change of heart. God going to see right through that bullshit. Because God ain't social media, son. How you people just get on there and cry. Oh no, he's going to say, you helped usher this in. Now you're crying because you lost everything. But I guess you wanted to. You didn't mind as other people lost everything. You didn't mind as they got rounded up and sent to an island far away. God knows what happens to them. You cheered it on. You loved it all. Then it came knocking at your door. You realize it's not a team sport. Maybe I should have taken it fucking seriously. Maybe I shouldn't have just ran with the fucking brainwashing from abject, adjudicated fucking defamers. Traitors to their country. Now you're all traitors by proxy. Well done. You've handed your country over to the enemy. Both enemies, Satan and Vlad. They some nasty people. Those two entities. Both destined for the lake. Totally. Anyway, until the next episode of The Apocalypse, have a wonderful evening.